We be using these for mirrors. You're looking at yourself, I guess it can't use. It's like you know you on camera, right? Ain't nobody here though. There's no woman like you. Ooh, excuse me. Excuse me. Hello, 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 Kingdom people. Where you at, Kingdom people? Thanks for that like. Thanks for being here as well. Just waiting on a few more to come on before I get this message out. Hey, Lady Rain. It's nice to see you here, sis. How are you? I hope that you are well. I'm sure you are. Your Kingdom people. It's coffee time with Latricia. I got my coffee. Oh man, I just spilled some on my shirt. Look at that. I'm always feed my shirt. I've been doing better at that though. Hey, Kingdom people. How are you all? I hope that you all are doing well. Thank you so much for joining. Hey, Lamoni Chef. I miss you too. I be seeing your videos on Facebook. I found you. You popped up on my stuff. I'm like, this is Lamoni Chef. You be doing your thing. I be learning a little something from you. I forget what the last one I seen. I think it was some. I don't know. I don't want to mix you up with somebody else. I be watching all kind of cooking stuff. But I want to say like chicken fingers or chicken something. I remember. I don't know. Yes, I am doing well. Listen, I'm pushing. I'm continuing to push, which is what I'm about to talk about. Like, that's all you can do. Keep pushing. Ain't no stopping. That's exactly what the enemy be wanting you to do. Stop. We gonna work together in God's will. Oh, absolutely. You never know. Because, you know, I'm not technically, professionally, credentially a chef. But, you know, I'm into it. So I like to cook. I like to eat. And I watch a lot of different cooking stuff. Hello, Life with Ashley Tate. How are you? Thanks for joining. If you all don't mind, can you all like the video? I appreciate that. Help circulate the video. And so, Kingdom people, I'm so glad you all have decided to join me. I'm glad you clicked on the video, on the live, because I have a message. And this is something that's been pressing on my spirit for quite some time. And this morning, you know, God just kind of spoke to me about it, to do a live today. I hadn't done one in a couple of weeks. Just been busy doing other things, and I just hadn't been led. So, you know, we got to let the Holy Spirit lead. And so, you know, I had did a video yesterday. What was it? The curse is reversed. And so I just, you know, it just still had been on my spirit. It still had been on my spirit. And God was speaking to me about it this morning. And he reminded us some things that I kind of did mention. But he gave me this morning, keep pushing. He been saying that to me. And this is the thing, Kingdom people. I'm a pusher. I've been pushing all my life. And many of you know what I'm talking about, because y'all been pushing all y'all life too. You know, with many obstacles, many things coming against you. You know, I was just telling my daughter today, you know, I've been pushing all my life. I said, you know, I was just had been sharing with her how, you know, this new that we're going into, you know, even though you still got to push through a lot, it's still a new that you're going into. And I told her, I made a little joke and I said, it seemed like I would have been there by now. And I said, but see, God be having plans. You know, God be having other plans. Sometimes we feel like we too old. I can remember going through that at one point in time in my life, maybe in my early 40s. I went through the whole thing. Like, I felt like I was getting older. And, you know, I would see people, you know, doing their stuff. And I'm like, it wasn't a matter of me not putting in the work, doing what needed to be done, working to make it happen. But, you know, it was a thing where, you know, it just never really came into nothing much. Some of those things, I'll say that, not everything, you know, but I just kept pushing. I kept pressing, and I kept just letting God lead me. And what God started to show me is that it's in his timing. Because you know how God can show you some things and you trying to get there and do what's necessary, but he's leading the way. And many a times those things didn't work out, and what we've come to learn is that a lot of those things were not working out because it wasn't time for them to. And in fact, we had to let go of a lot of people, walk away from a lot of people for when the time came for things to begin to manifest, because it's all literally in God's timing. And we be trying to make it happen, which is understandable. I mean, and that's a good thing. One thing that God told me, hey Michelle, thanks for joining, is that when we keep pressing and we're working to make it happen, he said he commends that, because that means we're willing to be proactive and we're willing to do what's necessary to make it happen. But overall, we have to allow God to lead, because sometimes we can get in our flesh somewhat, even if we're not trying to. Even if God is still leading us, we're just, when you're naturally a go-getter, you're naturally just driven, you have to learn how to, even when you let God lead you, you have to let him lead you as far as, okay, I got that too. In other words, I'm hearing it, not by power, not by might, but by my spirit. God will drop things on you. He will show you things, and then it'd be you trying to take over and do it. Not trying to, but you know, you're human. You know, you just like heard what God said. God said what he said. You're like, okay, let's do it. But God will teach you through all of that, that is in his timing. And he'll even slow you down. And you know, even when things are not manifesting and happening the way he said, or showing you the way you think it should, sometimes you want it to, which is a whole nother thing. Sometimes we want it this way. And I'm in a place right now, it's like I don't have no control. I don't have no control. And I ain't trying to have it. I've learned. He had to teach me. It ain't you. It's me. So I'm like, okay. So I just show up where he tell me to do the work, whatever that is. And it ain't me. I mean, I'm a vessel. You know, the same thing with you, kingdom people. You show up, it ain't by our power, it's not by our might, it's by his spirit. So the whole thing is keep pushing, keep listening to him, keep pressing. And I believe many of us are at a time right now where it's a lot coming against us. And that's because you're right at the breakthrough. Many of you, it's been a lot coming against you for quite some time. I was just telling my daughter, like, this been going on for years. You know, I was saying how you sing. That's what I started off saying. It seemed like I would have, you know, been where I'm saying what we walking into by now. And I kind of laughed about it. And I'm like, but what I learned is that God had to teach me. He was molding me. And I had a lot of things that were coming up against me, like literally. I didn't go into all the details with my daughter, but here and there I do share certain little things with her. I don't be wanting to overload her, and I feel like I don't have to say every little thing to her, you know, as God lead me, you know, to share so she can get that understanding and kind of know whatever it is she needs to know. But she won't have to experience what I experienced, because I'm dealing with it now. You know how you break cycles? And so anyhow, the thing was how, you know, what I missed kind of yesterday that God brought to my attention is that, you know, I was sharing how many times in our families and just people we were around, Period. It could even be some school teachers, not all. I'm just saying, because the thing is, we live in a world where everybody, it's people running things. It's people working in places, schools, stores, department stores, the services you have to get, property management, mortgage companies, car dealerships. Everybody is running all these places. They are ran by people, and people come in many spirits. We're dealing with a lot of different kind of stuff. And as I was saying before, how, many times growing up, if you are chosen one, if you are anointed, if you are God's elect, God ordained you, he called you for a higher calling, he called you out for whatever. Even if you didn't know that some years ago was people that you was around that seen that on you. And because of the entities that they carry, because of the demonic activity that they're involved with, which causes them to kind of be demonic, because now they're carrying around demonic spirits. And, as I always share, unhealed trauma, unhealed wounds, all those, because those turn into demons and spirits that come against the people of God, come against anybody that they see that is rising above, anybody they see with that spark, because now ultimately what they are the devil. They work for the devil. Even if they go to church, even if they the pastor, even if they teach whatever, Sunday they a speaker at the church, teach Sunday, it doesn't matter. If they operate in demonic activity and they carry demonic spirits, they work for the devil. And so many a times these people are planted in different places. I mean, what happened is that they kind of didn't deal with whatever stuff they had going on, and it just brewed and grew stronger. And what I've learned too, God has showed me, is that these kind of people don't love themselves. And when he really showed me that especially with people that I personally know, I could see it real good, because I could see their insecurity, I could see their low self-esteem. They put on a show, they know how to put on. But I could just remember seeing that and being aware of that. But you know how you just kind of go along with things, I mean, people got issues. That's what I've always done, just look past stuff. I'm like, people got issues. But what I've come to learn, and I would look past stuff and just be loving still. But what happened is God brought me to a place of, you can't keep looking past it. In other words, looking past it and keep going with it. It came a time where God started saying, okay, I've shown you enough, where these things were concerned with these kind of people. It's time to remove yourself from them. But up until those points, you pushing through stuff that you sometimes don't even know that you're pushing through what you're pushing through. And you don't even realize that the people that are around you and that you're dealing with is what you're pushing through. Because they trying to put some on you, but just being around these people carry curses. They carry these demonic spirits. And when you're around that's what you're around. And naturally, just because of what there are, that's stagnating energy, that's hindering energy. But God allows it, because again, he had to show you, he had to teach you through all that, he had to mature you and develop you through all of that. But you had to keep pushing, and you got to keep pushing, because what God is saying is that many of you all are at your breakthrough. Some of you all are still in your wilderness. That's okay. That's okay. You keep pushing, which is the point of this message. Keep pushing. Keep pushing and keep pushing and keep pushing. When I say keep pushing, I'm not saying be all out of balance and just be making it harder for yourself than it needs to be. Try to work to be gentle with yourselves. Work to just maintain your balance and stay grounded, because part of what those demonic entities and forces do is try to throw you out of balance. They try to throw you off whack. Constantly they're doing this. They're bombarding your mind, even telepathically, so to speak, or just in the spirit realm, to try to make you think all these crazy thoughts. But when you're grounded in God and in faith and you know who you are, it doesn't work on you. But what I've come to learn is that it works on them, because many of these people are thinking horrible thoughts of these thoughts of that y'all know. I don't want her to make it. I don't want her to have this affair. Again, like I always say, how they having all these wants for your life? These are demonic entities that they're tied to that speaks these things to them. They belong to Satan. They have demonic entities that have taken up inhabitation in them. And so this is the kind of thinking that they're doing. They're not themselves anymore. They kind of, sort of speak, took the bait. They ate the bait. They took Satan's bait. And now they're trying to throw you off because you're walking into your purpose. You're allowing God to lead you and guide you. You didn't take that bait like they did. You didn't let low self-esteem and insecurity and whatever trauma just make you just shut down and take the bait of Satan. Because again, when you don't deal with that stuff, it will deal with you. And that's where Satan enters. Yeah, I'm hearing Satan enter Judas. That's how they become betrayers. That's how they become betrayers, because Satan entered them. Because they had whatever going on with them. Like in Judas' case, he was jealous of Jesus. And he had the spirit of greed on him. But the thing is this, kingdom people, those spirits, this Judas, Satan can enter anybody that got these spirits, and they start off as wounds, traumas, unresolved issue, inner conflict. God graces us all to deal with those things. Unfortunately, sometimes people can become demonized at a very young age. I'm aware of a situation right now with a 1-year-old child that God had been showing me, because I just couldn't, where I live, he be screaming. And I'm just like, it's something that don't sit right in my spirit with that. It's something off. And God said he got a demon. He's demonized now. And he said, God said his mama did that by her demonic activity towards me. And I'm like, whoa. So now she got a little boy who is demon possessed. She also has a little girl that's a little older. God said he protecting her. And he even showed me, I have your presence there to do that. Because the little girl ain't with us stuff. The little boy, he don't know. Like I said, he about 1 year old. He's a toddler. And it's a sad thing. It saddens me. But God just kind of told me, just pray for the little girl. Because she ain't with what she's seeing. Because it's something special about her. And God is protecting her. But I'm saying all that to say how God would grace us to deal with those things. And when we don't, when you don't let God deal with you and you don't let him heal you through that stuff, and instead you go and now you trying to mess with somebody else, God's people, you know. And I don't care, again, like I say, this is a big thing. I don't care if you go to church. I don't care if you're the pastor, it don't matter. If you're operating in a demonic spirit, demonic activity, and you're coming against God's chosen, God's anointed, you work for the devil. I ain't saying you came to people, but I'm saying all this to say, God is saying keep pushing. Because you've been pushing. You've been pushing for a long time. Keep pushing. See, the enemy wants you to be like, and people do that too. Again, the enemy works through people that he possesses. The ones that been coming against you, the one that been doing the black magic on you, the one that been watching you. That's what God was speaking to me about this morning, these monitoring spirits. He was bringing to my attention again, certain individuals that like to ask questions. They want to get all up in your business. I have an auntie that used to do that. First, I used to talk freely. I would just talk. I wasn't thinking nothing of it. But then I started noticing. God just started showing me stuff. So I started shutting down. Then she started asking questions. And certain questions she would ask me didn't sit right with my spirit. And God would just start showing me she was trying to peer into my life. Trying to see, because she was trying to see what God was doing. But you got to understand, first of all, it ain't none of their business. God told me this morning. He said it ain't none of their business. And he said he be poking them in their eye. And they're trying to see, because it ain't their business. Be trying to peer into your destiny and who you are and where you going and all that. Because they want to try to hinder you. They're trying to stop it, because they work for the devil. They work for the devil. But you keep pushing. But God said he poked them in the eye when they be trying to see. And he said if they don't stop, I'm going to blind them. But he has a way of keeping them out of your stuff, but you have to keep them out too, which is part of why he tell you to remove yourself from them. Anyhow, kingdom people, this the thing. You been pushing through a whole lot already. God is saying push. Some of you, this push is it, but you got to push through it. And it's going to break you right through where God is taking you, the beginning of the promised land. I was reading in Numbers today how, you know, how God took them out, the children of Israel, out of Egypt. Oh, them children of Israel was a mess. I don't know how Moses did it, but God, that's how. And whatever was going on, they outside of the promised land. And no, they was in the promised land by this time, I think. Yeah, because Caleb and, was it Joshua, had ended up going in, and whatever it was, I'm reading in Numbers, I think it was chapter 16, I want to say. And these people start complaining about Moses, like, you brought us here and you took, listen to this, they said you took us out of Egypt, the land flowing with milk and honey, to bring us here to kill us and to stop. Moses and Aaron fell out to the ground to ask God, please, give these people some grace, because God was ready to kill them. God said, what you do, the group of the people that was on that, because they was like different tribes, and they was in different tents set up in different places. He said for those few that was the ones that was coming against Moses, which really they was coming against God, because God was leading Moses. But these people had, got indignant, was coming at Moses like, you trying to kill us, and this, that, and other. So God said, go tell everybody that ain't one of the ones from the tribe that was doing that, get away from their tent. And do you know when they moved, God swallowed them, to open the land, the ground, and they swallowed them up, all their children, all their wives, all their stuff. And then the ground closed back up. I'm sitting here like, whoo. Then the other group, I want to say the Levites, if I'm not mistaken, here they come. Talking about, Moses, you killing people. They was kind of teaming up on them, coming against them. And Moses and Aaron fell again, like, God. They had to plead to God for these crazy people. God is leading, using Moses, and Moses for the most part, and yes, Aaron was the high priest, to lead these people to where the place he had from them. But they weren't liking what it was looking like, and then they kept coming against Moses. They was teaming up against him, talking about he doing this and he doing that, which really they were coming against God. So it was a group, one of the group of the people was on burning incense, but they were burning the wrong thing, or they weren't supposed to be, or something like that. So God said, listen, go, I forget exactly how it went, but whatever happened, them people that was over there burning them incense that they weren't supposed to, or something like that, God burnt them up. But the point that I'm making here is, what I got from all that was, God was like, stop playing with me. Because when he's using you, when he sent Moses to free you, and see, kingdom people, a lot of you all, God sent you to free people that have been indignant with you, and they acting like you doing something wrong, or you against them, because you're being who God called you to be. And that's some stuff you have to push through, because they trying to attack you, they're trying to stop you, they're trying to monitor you and hinder your progress, and they're coming from a place of ego, I'm hearing low self-esteem, just don't like themselves. I don't care how they put on, and you can see it if you pay attention, it's right there. But they know how to put on. I just heard that's falling off. People seeing through that. But they know how to put on. They've been putting on for years. This is what they do. This is the thing. They're being, God said, that's how he's going to be handling these people. Maybe not in the exact same way, but in the way of these times, these days, for the way God chooses to deal with them. Because they're being indignant with you. They've been coming at you. They've been trying to hinder you. You've been having to push through all that stuff. And God sent you. God literally sent you. And some of these people so crazy, they don't even realize God even sent you for them. God was reminding me of how you came to break generational curses. You even came to break curses in your bloodline. But these ones that came at you, he say still pray for them. They can't even receive. They out of it. Their children and their children's children, their children's children is going to be able to walk into that promised land that they'll never see, because they was trying to keep you out of something that you could have ushered them into. Kind of just like Moses. Even though wasn't his family, but those were the people that God had chose to lead. But you see how they were. You see, I'm just saying they used to Egypt. Some of these people are used to Egypt. They like Egypt. That's why they're trying to hinder you from moving ahead. And this is all other thing of Because a lot of these people come from places they don't want you to be better than them. They just stay right here. But again, that's ego. That's insecurity. That's low self-esteem. That's I'm settling. That's I didn't let the devil get a hold of me. And so I'm just going to be right here. And so I'm going to come against you since you still trying to move forward in your stuff. That's what that is. And God deals with them. And I keep hearing he say, pray for them. You got to pray for them. You got to pray for your enemies. There's a reason why God says do that. But kingdom people, you have to keep pushing through. I know you being through a lot. And you being pushing, you being pushing through. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. I was telling my daughter, I'm like, that's all I know how to do. Nothing I'm trying to do anything different. I'm like, I've been pushing all my life. Even before I had the understanding of what I was pushing through. I just push. And that's the thing. I ain't get all the way this far and overcome so much and elevated spiritually and got this understanding and wisdom and know what it is, know who God is, know who I am in him. I don't care what these people doing in their head. I don't want you to make it. I don't want you to. You can want all you want. I ain't stopping. I'm going to keep pushing. Let me tell you something, kingdom people. If you ain't got nothing else, you got to push. Because what is the opposite? What the opposite going to do? You got to get up every day. You got to keep living your life. But you know what? I be saying that. And finally, God told me. He said, those people that be trying to stop and block you don't think like that. Because here's the thing. Some people may have attempted to do something on a higher level. And what happens is evil forces come against you. Just like we experience. Those evil forces coming against us, trying to keep us from hindering us. And they stop and be like, because they don't want to deal with that. And they just don't want to deal with everything that comes with moving ahead, leveling up. So they just settle. I just heard they took Satan's bait, the bait of Satan. And so in these people's minds, they don't want you to be better than them. When it ain't even about you being better than them, it's about who you being, who God calls you to be. But what God have taught me is that they know when you doing the will of God, you already better than them. Because they know the demonic stuff they doing. They know where they settle. And it ain't about you being better than them. Or you. It's nothing like that. You just want better because you know it's better for you. You want what God has for you. But in their little feeble, small-minded, devilish selves, because that's what it is, they look at it as, I don't want you to be better, but you got to come all the way down. You can't level up with them. I'm not saying you really can't, but this is their thinking. Because they need to be better than you, but they ain't, is what it is. They really ain't. Y'all fill in the blank. Y'all know what I'm saying? They ain't. They don't even feel like they are. Which is part of why they got a problem with you. Because you know who you are. You sure who you are. And in many of these cases, they didn't try to break that. They didn't try to keep you from knowing who you are. Break that, what you know about you. They've been trying to kill that spirit in you. They've been trying and trying and trying and trying, and they can't. And they want you to be broken because they feel broken. They feel like they ain't. And they probably ain't. Not because they can't be, but by choice. So to make themselves feel like they something, they got to come at you. Try to stop and block you because they not going to level up. Some people just not going to do that. But my point here, kingdom people, is to tell you to keep pushing through. Yeah, you done been through a lot of stuff. You done had to push through a lot of stuff. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. And just be mindful of who and what you being around. Because you can't be around everybody. We dealing with demonic entities all day, every day. Now, that don't mean don't go out here and do what you need to do. Go do your stuff. Go take care of your business. But be mindful, be aware, use your discernment, and walk in wisdom. As I stated before, we out here in the world, we have to deal with people. But you, look, he say he sent us out among wolves. So be wise as a serpent and as gentle as a dove. And I'm noticing as a serpent. Some versions say a serpent. What is a serpent? The devil. So it's kind of like you have to outwise the devil. Because that's what he doing with you. He trying to outwise you, outsmart you. He studies you to see. So you got to study how he operates. You got to understand his ways. Because he's very crafty. But kingdom people, the point is to keep pushing through. Now let me give you the scripture before I go. God gave me this morning in my devotion time. And he said this. Gave me this whole message. Keep pushing. 1 Thessalonians 4:1 says, finally, dear brothers and sisters, we urge you in in the let me start over. Finally, dear brothers and sisters, we urge you in the name of the Lord Jesus to live in a way that pleases God, as we encourage you to do so even more. So this is saying you already doing that. Do it even more. You already living in a way that pleases God. Do it even more. You already been pushing. Push more. Keep pushing. Again, not to where you hurting yourself. You know, you just chill. Don't take it too. Just be gentle with yourself, but just keep moving. Keep moving in the things of God. Keep, in spite of everything that's trying to come against you. It wouldn't be coming against you if you wasn't on to something. You got to understand that. And when it get real cuckoo crazy, it's because, whoo, you right in the midst of a breakthrough. I assure you. So you push on through that. Don't let all that fray you and have you thinking, oh, it's going to come. The enemy has to come against you for a certain period of time in your life. He has to. It's just part of how it goes. That's why God give us the tools. That's why he lets us know we have the authority to trample and tread over the serpent's heads, and nothing by no means can harm us. It's because he gave us the authority. He already knew these things were going to come against us. And I'm just reminded how he say, I have already overcome the world. I tell you this so you may have peace. Because he got you. You can have peace. Yeah, it's going to come, but he overcame the world, and so are you. You're overcoming all this too. You just got to keep pushing. Keep pushing. Don't be tripping on nothing. I'm in this space right now. I've been in this space, so I don't even care. That's like my attitude. It be goofy. I'm like, I don't care. I'm over it. Because it means nothing. It's meaningless. And understand how I mean this. It's beneath me. Because when you're rising, you're ascending, you know, you're coming up high, you're elevating spiritually, that little dumb stuff looks small. It's small to you. You have no, it's dumb. It becomes really dumb. So you don't even care about it. You know, you have to kind of leave people where they are. You recognize it for what it is, know they where they are, and just keep it moving. Holding on to his unchanging hand through it all. Oh, that was from before. Yep. Lady Ray, exactly. Keep holding on to God's unchanging hand through it all. Keep pushing. So, Kingdom people, I'm so happy that you all joined me. I just had to get that message out, but I do have to go. I have an appointment coming up. And yeah, Kingdom people, I love you all so very much. You all know I don't want to leave you, but I do have to go right now. But I will be back to hold my Kingdom people down. Now, Kingdom people, keep pushing. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. That's it. That's all. But above all else, let the Holy Spirit lead you in all things at all times. Kingdom people, we always untouchable, unstoppable, unmovable, and unbreakable. Kingdom people, that is my time. Jesus girl is out. Peace. Peace. Wrong hand.